Hello and welcome to the lecture series of artificial intelligence. Today we are going to see the next algorithm, that is depth first search. So in the last lecture we had seen about the algorithm of breadth first search, in which we had seen the breadth wise, how does the breadth wise the algorithm finds the goal. Okay, today we are going to see how depth wise does the algorithm finds its goal, and what are the pitfalls and what are the advantages. Okay, so let's see. So depth first search is basically a recursive algorithm, just like the breadth first search for traversing a tree or a graph or for data structure. It is called depth first search because it starts from the root node and follows each path to the greatest depth node before moving to the next path. Okay, DFS, in contrast to BFS, uses a stack. Now BFS was using queue data structure for storing the elements, for storing the nodes, but depth first search, that is the DFS, uses the stack data structure for its implementation. Okay, now DFS, the process of DFS is somewhat similar to BFS, but the thing is how to traverse the node is is the basic difference between the BFS and DFS. Okay, so let's see an example, and we are going to evaluate on the metrics that we had discussed in the last class about the BFS. Okay, so we are going to see the same thing. So the same tree we are taking. Okay, we are taking the same tree. So given the maximum depth m and the branching vector b, and the depth of the least cost solution is t. Okay, we are taking all of them, but let's see how does the same tree is traversed in the DFS. Okay, and we'll see what is the difference right now. Okay, so first node is A, and then we move to B. Until now all the things are same. Then in the BFS we move from B to the adjacent node, that is C, right? But here let's see what happens. It moves downwards to D, and then it sees there's no child node of D, so it will move to the sidewards. Okay, so it will move to E. Now the all the nodes in B are finished, so it will move upwards. It will backtrack to from E to B, and then from B it will go to C. Okay, and then it will move to the childrens of C. So E, F, G and H. Okay, so in this way the traversal of DFS is happening. So let's see what are the evaluation metrics. Okay, now is it complete? Can you tell me, is it complete or not? If you are thinking that it is somewhat similar to BFS, that it may find the solution, that we are finding the solution, if it is existing, then also we can find the solution. Let's say, let's take the case that the goal node exists in the tree. Then can you tell me with 100% surety that you will find the goal node? If you are thinking yes, then you are wrong, because it is incomplete. This algorithm is incomplete. Why? Because here you can see, whenever we had seen about the when we see about the traversing of this algorithm, now from A it goes to B, then B it goes to D. Now let's imagine the case where the depth of the tree is infinite. Then what will happen? If the depth of the tree is infinite, then how can we able to find the tree? Let's say the goal node is C only, but here it moves to A, then B, then D, then it moves downwards until infinite length. So if the depth of the tree is infinite, then will it be able to move to C, which is adjacent to B only? No, right? So if the I'm saying again, so if the depth of the node is infinite, okay, then it will move downward only. It will not go to the adjacent path. So that is why it is not complete. Okay, and what about the time complexity? Time complexity is order of b to the power m. Now at any level of the maximum branching factor, that is b is the branching factor. Okay, and here we are going to the greatest depth of the tree. So the greatest depth of the tree is, maximum depth is m. So we are not finding the node until and unless in the worst case the goal node can be at the depth m. So we have to travel up to we have to see all the branching factors, that is b to the power m. That is why the time complexity is b to the power m. Okay, now what about space complexity? If you're thinking that the space complexity is just like the same, that is order of b to the power m, just like the time complexity, then you are wrong, because space complexity here stores the nodes, the paths of the node. Okay, now let's say the path is, let's say the goal node is c only. So what is the path over here? The path is a to c only. Now in BFS we have to store the paths, so from a to b then c. Okay, so that was the path, but over here we are going from A to B, then D, then E, then we are backtracking to B, and then we are going to C. But the actual path remains from A to C is to C only. Okay, so the actual path over here is from A to C, not A to B, then D, then E. Okay, so it is directly from A to C, the path. So it stores only the nodes for the path with which contains the goal. Okay, so the maximum depth of that path is m and the worst case branching factor is b. So the space complexity over here becomes order of b into m, not b power m. Okay, now the next question, then the most interesting one: is it optimal? Can you tell me that this particular algorithm is optimal or not? If you are thinking yes, then you are again wrong. If you are thinking no, you are right, because as this algorithm is not complete, it may not be optimal at all. Now how can we determine that? We can determine that because what is optimality? Optimality is to find the least cost goal. Okay, now what is complete? Complete is if any goal is existing in that particular tree, if it can find the tree, if it can go find the goal. Now if the depth of the node, if the depth of the tree is infinite, then if the goal node is there only, here the goal node is c, but the depth of this tree is infinite, let's say, then it cannot even find the goal node here c. Okay, so in that case, here the goal node is there and we have do not have the surety that it will find the goal node. Then how can we make sure that it will find the least cost goal, as it does, as it is incapable of, in most cases, in some cases it is incapable of finding a goal. So how can we trust it with finding the least cost goal, right? That is why it is not optimal. Okay, now next we'll see what are the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages can be DFS takes very less memory as it stores only the path, okay, not the whole set of nodes. So that is why it takes less memory. Okay, and it takes less time also to reach the goal than the BFS. Okay, what are the disadvantage? Disadvantage are there's a possibility that many states keep reoccurring. Okay, so there is no guarantee of finding the solution. Okay, DFS algorithm goes for deep down searching. Okay, sometime it goes for the infinite loop. So just like we are talking about it right now. Okay, so this was all about the DFS. Okay, the depth first search. In the next class or in the next lecture, we'll see about uniform cost search and we'll see how does the algorithm works over there. Thank you.